Hey, welcome to episode 58 of the Gig Life podcast. I'm your host, Stevie Taylor. Now, before we rip into this episode, I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on what's been happening lately. So it's been a very busy couple of weeks, organising, planning, recording interviews, editing interviews, been talking to listeners about their favourite episodes and who they'd like to have on the show. So that's been cool. Some upcoming episodes which we recorded just this week are the brilliant guitarist Jack Housden from the Bad Loves and the Whitlams, master musician, piano player, bass player Bill Risby, and Australian drumming legend Gordon Rittmeister. Now, Gordy and I sat down last night, hit the record button. 4.5 hours later, we hit the stop button. So I think that might need to be a double episode. And continuing with the Roundtable series, we have a date locked in for the Guitarist Roundtable, which we are doing in partnership with the Guitar Speak podcast. Now, I don't pretend to know much about guitar, but Matt from the Guitar Speak podcast, he knows his stuff. So together with Daniel March, Mark Maloof, Ben Rogers, Pete Northcote, and Michael Dolce, we'll be getting that one down, so can't wait. And finally, continuing on with the Spotlight series, with that recent episode being Jeff Beccaro, I've decided the next one will be on Steve Gadd. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So anyway, as always, thanks for listening and supporting. I hope you're still enjoying it. So now it's time for episode 58 with Brad Kora. My guest today is New Zealand drummer, producer, songwriter and martial artist Brad Kora. Brad is currently part of New Zealand juggernaut band L.A.B. During our chat, we got to talk about the forming of L.A.B. And the band now in its current state, the recording process in detail of their upcoming third album. We talked about his early childhood playing in the family band, and then together with his brothers going on to form another powerhouse band of the 2000s, Kora. Also, being a drummer, of course, we had to geek out on drums and drummers and drumming, and there's a bunch of other stuff in there as well. Now, what really struck me about Brad during this interview was his willingness, openness in discussing his musical process, L.A.B's process, and he gives away a ton of trade secrets. In an age, in my opinion, where people don't like to give too much away, this was extremely refreshing. Brad is a champion, a monster drummer and musician, and it's my absolute pleasure to be able to share this podcast episode with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, please give it up for Brad Kora. Cheers. I think we're rolling. Now, welcome to the Gig Life podcast, Mr. Brad Kora.
Cheer.
Yeah, bro, what are you up to?
Oh, no, nothing. Just got back from the gym. So, yeah, kicking back. It's 9 p.m. here in NZ. So,
yep.
Yeah. Got a few days off.
Oh, well, that's good. Now, you guys have just finished recording your third album. Yep. And you've also finished all your winter touring. And you guys also just won the best video for the White Multi Music Awards. Is that right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, we just had that on Saturday. So boys are pretty stoked about that.
How was that?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see a lot of up and coming Māori artists. And it's the second time we went there, and we're still kind of like in that kind of corporate scene. We're still like underdogs in regards to those type of things like awards and that, because we're more like road working band, like kind of like we're kind of like live bands as opposed to like ceremony kind of singles bands.
Yeah,
So
I understand.
for us, we kind of sit on the other side of the fence. So to be at a award like that was pretty cool. You know, it's like we don't really see that side of the industry. They're kind of more like radio kind of, not really live band type of groups.
Right. So last year were you guys involved with the New Zealand Music Awards?
Yes,
for any Yep.
Yeah, best up and coming group, but
right.
I think Drake's project got that one at the Vodafone Awards. So,
the Vodafone Awards. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe this year, bro. So when the nominations for that come out for this year?
I think that one is November. I can't say anything yet, but something cool's in store for us for that. So
yeah, awesome. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, bro. So we'll roll back to early days for you. So you and your family, born and raised in Whakatane, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So tell me the first time you picked up an instrument, and was it drums?
Yeah, I was actually piano. So, but my dad had been playing music since like the 70s, and I think he had left his band and he was looking for some musos. And I don't know if he had a fallout with his band, but my brothers and I started playing when we were like 5 or 6.
Yep.
And then basically from the age of like 7 or 10, we kind of started playing shows with Dad, or doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at bars from like pretty much for like 16 years straight.
Yeah, right.
So that started at primary school, and then that was pretty much our childhood. So we'd have to like rehearse from 3 p.m. till 5, then load up the van, and then it was like the RSA on Wednesday and Friday, then a Portuguese on Thursday, and then Saturday was usually a wedding, and that went on from like primary right through till after school, high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, didn't really have a childhood, but we did. We surfed a lot. We did a lot of surfing and martial arts, but yeah, that was about it.
Yep. Did you get any drum lessons, or was it all sort of? Have you always been on the job player?
Yeah. It was like Dad used to always have we used to have loads of VHSs of like Steve Smith and Jeff Porcaro and Randy Crawford. I forgot his name, but we'd study
this one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, when it's like he keeps wiping his nose.
Yeah.
The bird diddle whatever. But that was like, I think every Māori kid had that in the 80s, and then there was Steve Smith from Journey, and then as the years went on, it kind of went into like Dave Weckl. Ended up studying Dave Weckl. So, and then because we were gigging a lot, there was a lot of hot drummers around that were actually like seasoned. They went to school and that, and they'd be playing up the bars up the road. So as a young little kid, Dad used to take us to watch them, and that's picked up a lot of tips off them.
Right. Do you remember who those guys were?
Oh man, there was Ian Hunia. He had probably the best kind of like Bo Diddle. He's an old guy now, but his pocket, he had a real big. He kind of had like a Steve Gadd pocket,
right?
Like sat right behind the bass that really like pulled the band back, and he had a real deep backbeat on him. So kind of picked that, and he was a big fan of just sitting on the 1 and the 3. So it's like, or 2 and the 4. So it was just always on. So he was always about like minimal stuff. And then as the 90s came along, I got into the whole, because we were all metal heads anyway, but I started playing for like metal bands and progression metal bands. And then, got into Meshuggah, started doing covers with them. And then I got into the like more polyrhythmic stuff with that. So that came in by hanging out with my cousin Richie Allen, who's Heavy Metal Ninjas, and he's a sound engineer for L.A.B at the moment. Him and Charlie Bronson, and he's also playing bass for Kora. Richie is. So he kind of took us to that hybrid level of kind of mathematical drumming.
Right, I understand.
yeah, and then Laughton came back from Queenstown, and he was like, man, there's this thing called dub. And I was like, it was electronic because he was into Portishead and stuff. And then I was like, I'm really digging this. And then that's that whole manifestation of Shapeshifter, and the Fat Freddy's was this underground scene, and Trinity Roots. And we were like, man, this is something I never heard it before. It's just something new. And that's when the whole Lady Six thing started to brew, and the Black Seas, and it just, the music scene. I remember the festival scene. This is about 2003, but I remember no one was really supporting Kiwi music through the 90s or 80s. Really, right. There was like Upper Heart Posse or those, but not really the
Super
indie
groovy.
scene, and it was a real like a indie scene. But then there was also a good house scene, but there wasn't really like a live band scene or live group scene in New Zealand. And I think when the Fat Freddy's and Trinity Roots came along and the Catch a Fire, that's when the New Zealand festival scene just went up. So that was around about 2003, because people weren't really going to festivals. They're going to bars in the NZ. It was mainly to watch international acts. And then, Rhythm and Vines was kind of like them, and Soundsplash were the pioneers of festivals. Now they're just multi-millionaires. So it was good that we're a part of the first kind of 7 years of that, I would call it evolution of live music. We were part of that history, which is really cool with Kora. I mean, from the 80s, it was all covers bands. I feel like all the musos in New Zealand were really, there were monster musos in the 80s. I reckon New Zealand had some of the best bass players and guitars and drummers in the world in the 80s, because everyone was like a Dave Weckl or the Slap Nathan East. Everyone was like, because there was no internet. You get bored at home, so you just practice and practice.
You go buy you go buy those videos and sit and watch them and learn them, eh? And no distractions, eh?
That was it. So, and even at high school as a kid in primary, being like cool at school was knowing how to play like a guitar part really well, or if you could play a certain groove, you're like, man, you're one cool dude. So that was cool in that era. So every kid I remember at high school was trying to fight to be the best, which kind of made everyone better.
That's awesome.
Because I was like, I had, there's like 4 drummers that I used to look up to, and I was like, I've got to be better than. So, there was this competition, and that's what in the 80s and 90s, man, there was some hot music. And then I think you and I come from that era, because you've got that pocket style too. So I was like, and I wouldn't say it's a dying breed. Like, there's a lot of technical hot gospel drummers in there, but
can they? The thing with that though, like, and I've always said it, can they really just lay it down? Because that's a big thing about, well, what I think about your playing. Like, you play for the song. I was listening to L.A.B too these last couple of days, just like really listening to the drums. And I mean, you've got your places, but you're just laying it down, man. Like, you can play from bar 1 to bar 60 with maybe play 2 fills and 1 crash, or maybe you don't play the crash. And I'll tell you what, man, that there's not a hell of a lot of that going around, eh? Like, you watch those gospel players, they can't do that, man. They get bored. They go do something else.
There's the discipline's really dying, and there's some real hot evens. I see some of the live acts now, and there's some real hot stuff going on through the set, and it's like, it's almost so slick that it's kind of loses a little bit of grease. Sometimes if you just have a drummer or some band just sits in the pocket, just let the music just breathe, have a bit of space. But I think everyone's trying to like outdo each other with this monster set, and sometimes it's cool just to kind of lay it down and just sit in a pocket. And I think a lot of that came with age, and this is the 3rd album I've produced just recently, and I've really learned that the key to success in this game is just if you've got a good pocket and if you can really lay down that 1-3 or the 2-4 really well, got a beautiful backbeat, you'll stay in the industry for a long time.
Yeah, man.
And that's pretty much it. I used to do all the old 4/2 double kick, trip all over myself, you know.
Well,
there's a place for it.
Yeah, let me tell you the first time I heard and saw of Brad Kora. When I first joined the company, we had a whole bunch of original songs that the boys had written for their first album. So I learnt all them. And then we were going to go out and start playing some gigs, but we didn't have enough songs, so we started learning some covers. And we're in rehearsal, and Ronnie said to me, "Bro, have you heard Kora?" And I said, "Yeah, I've heard of Kora. Have you heard their music?" And I said, "I've heard Politician. That's the only song I'd heard." And he goes, and he goes, "Oh, they do this song called Flow." Oh, and okay, cool. Have you got it anywhere? So they pulled up this video, and there's a live video of you fellas. You're in a tent.
Yeah.
You got the long dreads. Stu's got the long dreads.
Yeah.
You guys just start playing the song, and then when you just come in, I'm just like, fuck, man, who's this fella? You know? And man, like I studied your parts for that song, eh? And almost tried to do it note for note for that live version, you know, with the stop and then the build at the end, and yeah, bro. So from then, I was like, fuck, this fella can play, man. This is mean. And then then saw you live, I think 2013 when you came out with Kora, and you fellas played the Oxford Art Factory in Sydney. Yeah, and we were right up the front, so I got to see you play live and met you at the back. Yeah, it was cool, man. Yeah.
Oh, geez, man. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Man, it's a few years now. I do miss, man. I miss playing with my brothers. We still play here and there, Kora, but that was a real magic moment. I think it helps having 4 brothers. Like I don't think it was really there were some parts definitely in the drumming, but I felt like being 4 brothers and that synchronization, that glue that came from just being little kids, and I think being genetically born together.
I understand.
There's this subconscious kind of like communication. Like even if I was pushing it, I could feel my brothers like telling me, and I'm like more like a subconscious. It's hard to but my brothers and I talk about it. But we've been playing for so long, or a friend tripped over a note, we all knew how to trip over the note together. Awesome. Because we've been playing for so many years. We had these little, I wouldn't call them cues, but you just had this feel. And man, when my brothers and I do get together, it's just like this is glue. I can't really describe, but this is real magic glue. But that's just chemistry, right? It just comes with time, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I spoke to Fran last year, and he, gave me a little bit of the history into Kora, and how it sort of began, and the EP that you did, and then the album, and did some toured the US, and what was really fascinating when he was telling me the story about the US, like you couldn't fudge your way around that tour, ringing up different venues saying, "Oh man, I just sold out this place," because apparently they have this book, the book that all the other venues and stuff know about. So if you were in a town and nobody came, the next venue knew about it. Yeah,
right.
That's yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough industry, man. It's a real tough industry, but man, that was a blast. And I think we did one there. I mean, Catch a Fire go there like 3 times a year, twice a year.
Yeah, they're on their way. They're on their way back through here now. They'll be. I think they'll be here in October, here in Sydney in October. Yeah,
we're doing a show with them in Perth.
Yep.
Yeah. So looking forward to that, and I mean, America is it's real. They're real like the Americans are real forward. They're really like think really big. That's the one thing I noticed about touring America. Whereas in the Europe, they're I wouldn't say they're classy, but there's kind of like a classiness about touring through Europe. that's like they're real veterans at what they want to hear. That's one thing you could say about the Germans in that. But touring Europe was mind blowing. That was probably the highlight of my whole career.
So where did you go? Where did you go through Europe?
We went there quite a few times. We did Berlin, Belgium, Denmark, Copenhagen, Paris. I can't remember now. And then always went through England and stuff, and then Ireland as well. Tour through Ireland, and we'd come home, and then go back, and come home, come back. So it was, I think they went on for like 6-7 years.
Yeah, right.
So, we're just back and forth. And then, I mean, that was a great time. And it was, I miss the Kora days, but, you know, as we got older, the egos all got a little bit bigger and the money got better. And so a little bit of politics here and there, but it's all good. It's all good now. So Lordy had left, and then I kind of followed on after. It kind of got a little bit messy, and then I ended up playing for Kim.com, which was like an experience. I would call it an experience. I mean, but got to work with some really hot producers, some Black Eyed Peas producers and stuff. So that's what led me into the production and sound engineering side of things.
Yeah, right.
Because I was only just like a drummer. I was just the guy that played drums, and I used to love songwriting a lot for Kora. But I really wanted to know like how like this compression works. So I started going on studio courses and master classes with producers that would come over to New Zealand. And then while that was happening, I mean, this is leading into L.A.B. I was looking for I'd written a song called Old Man. It's off our first album. And I needed a singer. And I was in my studio back in Whakatane, where I am now. And the Good Morning Show came on. And I could hear this blues guy singing in the background. It was crazy. And I was like, who's this guy? So I pushed the TV back. And there's this ginger on there, and it was Joel. But he had stitches in his hands.
Yeah.
So, and he started singing. I was like, man, this kid's gonna, I've just never heard a voice like that come out of this ginger boy. So I had looked him up. I saw his name on the TV. So I went on Facebook, and I didn't even know we were friends on Facebook. He must have added me like years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So I messaged him, and I said, hey, dude, I've got this demo. Would you be interested? He like replied like seconds later. He's like, hell yeah, man. 2 days later, he sent me back the demo. But before that happened, from his end of the story, when I gave him the message, he was teaching the 7-year-old kid. And he was like, man, I've just studied jazz. I've gone to these mean schools, and here I am teaching a 7-year-old, and I want to be on a stage. I want to be in a studio. And he saw the message, and he told the kid, I just need to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
So he was like,
yeah.
And then, man, he went into the studio straight after, like, I sent the demo. And the demo came back like a day or two later, like real quick. I was like, man, that's quick. So I hummed him the melody. I said, look, put your own words to it. This is the melody I want on it. I gave it to Lordy, but Lordy wasn't really interested in it at the time. I pushed play anyway, and my partner was in the kitchen doing stuff, just chilling out, and his voice came up, and I was just like, I just knew right there and then. I was like, this kid, man. And she kind of, her head popped around the corner. I was like, is it there? I was like, yeah, that's that girl. I was like, and so I messaged him. I said, would you like to start a band? I've got my band L.A.B. Would you be interested? He's like, hell yeah. Then he had the stitches in his hands, so we called up. And I didn't even know he was like this beast guitarist. Like,
oh, right. You'd only heard him sing.
Well, because he had stitches in his hands. So he'd come over, and I was giving him the lowdown. I said, da, da, da. And then he picks up the guitar. His hand got better, and he started playing the guitar. And I was just like, oh man. this kid's gonna make me rich. Nah. I was like, so, and then from that from that day, it kind of like he would come over like at least twice or three times a week, and we were just riding. And we didn't even know where we were going with this band. We were just like, could this be something, or is this just another project that's just gonna fade away and die? And then I saw the hunger in his eyes. I wanted it just as bad. I wanted that feeling to be on that stage again, because I was like going through this whole, man, I haven't played on stage for 2 years, because I'm a live performer. That's what I was born to do.
Yep.
And same with Joel. So then it just manifested from there. Stu was in there, and then we went through a couple of bass players, and then Ada needed our original bass player couldn't make it. He was with the symphony orchestra touring. I think it was the orchestra. So Ada filled in, and then he said, yeah. And then from there on in, we kind of connected. The vibrations are right. Ada's a really great accountant, and he's a good manager too. So because he manages Capify, he said, yeah, he's been their manager for I think 22 years.
Oh, he still manages them now.
Yeah, he's their booking agent and stuff. So he's still part of, so to have, because you've got your musical side of the industry, and you've got, you can write some songs, you can put some videos out. But what's more important, or just as important, is you have to have a strong team. And so kind of like the stars all align. We had Ada, who's a really great manager. He knows the industry. He knows people, promoters and stuff. There was my part as well. I mean, Joel was this fresh kid who knew theory, and he knew how to read. So everyone had really big parts of this team. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew I started to work out, this is going to go really well. We've got a strong team. We've got a really tight, like no one can kind of penetrate this. I knew that because of the background of the people that were in the band. Yep. And then we needed a record company. And I remember hitting up Mikey Tucker from Loop Records, who we're with now. And I was by myself. He just didn't even reply. And then we did She's Gone. I think we just recorded it that day. And I sent it to him. I said, man, we're nearly done this album. He said, send me the song. I sent it there. He called me straight up. He said, all right, where are you? Let's get the contract, sign it up. And
wicked.
So he's our booking agent, Mikey Tucker. So Mikey Tucker used to have Trinity Roots, I think Black Seeds. I think he had Lady Six. He's been in the industry a long time. He had Kora as well. And I know he's a shaker and a mover, and he's a good friend of ours. So I was like, I need a shaker and a mover song that's really driven, and he never turns off a switch. And he's one of those guys. So he was all in. And now the team we've got with L.A.B, the business team is really strong. Our booking agent's really strong. It's just everything's on lockdown. So the wheel's gone like this now. Before we had to like push the car. Yeah. Now we're just like sit in it. It's just the wheel's turning now. And it's getting to a point where we're starting to get more tour managers in and on stage monitor guys. Now we got in-ear guys. Like it's just gone from this little group playing to like 300, maybe 200 to like we're selling out all our venues now, and we need more guys. It's just the machine's getting bigger, which is really cool. And I realized then, sheesh, man, I think I know the formula to music finally. To make a band successful. I kind of, okay, this is how it works. And,
man, that's cool.
Yeah. Should I tell people, or will I lose a bit of bread and butter on the table? So it's kind of, it's crazy that the wheel is, it's humming, man. Like the team we have is just real strong. It's crazy.
And with that would allow you guys, especially this time around in the studio, to totally relax on all the business side of stuff and just focus on your songs, eh?
Totally, man. I mean, the first time we done the album, we had to kind of be everything. We had to but NZ in the hit on Air's been really great. They've given us 3 grants 3 years in a row. Mm-hmm. So for albums, which just contributed. And then I always think if you release an album and not singles, that's the secret to getting a fan base, because I think if you release like a real hot single here and there, you're going to have not enough depth. So people, but I think if you release an album, because we're an album band, we're not a singles band.
Right.
So you get some bands that have got really hot songs, they're always on the radio, but then they'll tour and they can't even fill out a venue.
Yep.
And I feel like that's all kind of formula of like album bands is still a success story you can still use, and that's what we are. We don't really write hits or singles. We kind of write an album where hopefully it's a journey to us. Like we try and go on a journey on our albums. That's what the idea is anyway. And people, you're always going to end up with, I call them super fans. They're just going to listen to you for the rest of their lives, and you're going to have that. And then eventually you have more super fans. It gets bigger. And then year after year, like Catchify and Fat Freddy's and Black Seeds constantly selling out because they've got their super fans that just are, they're just loyal to you. Yeah. And that comes down to albums. And I think that's one of the formulas is having the odd single and the odd video release here, then having nothing for 6 months, and then another single just doesn't quite cut it. I think you're cool, it's cool, but in the long run, I feel like their albums were outdo a singles artist, or to a point. Then you got your super artists, like they just release singles and they're just monsters. So. Yeah. But at our level, I think doing albums is kind of a real big thing to do.
Yeah. At what stage did you come up with the model of album tour a year? Because you've done it 3 years in a row now.
We're actually addicted to studio. We're actually addicted to we love songwriting. Like the Ada is like a little kid. As soon as we get to the studio, he gets all like, to us, it's the because it's scary. The first album, we kind of had some songs pre-produced or went into pre-production.
Yeah.
But the second and the third album, I'm really stoked about, we literally on the day had a blank canvas.
Yep.
And I was like, well, you still call that cool? Let's see where we go with it. It's a big risk because you're paying like thousands a day.
Yep.
But what happens is that you create some sort of magic because it's in the moment. And that's something that when you write something so much and it's so perfect, you lose the grease. The song loses the grease. It loses those human errors, that moment of chemistry, because you get some people that the songs are so polished, they're so, they're just so clean cut that there's just no grease in the song. Yeah. And we wanted this third album especially to be like, is that it? Yeah. Are we going to push record? Oh shit, here we go, there, push record, And I was like, it was scary. Every day we were scared. Awesome. It was like, but that was part of the...
Well, that's living too, man, isn't it? That's living.
It was magic. There was some moments, man, we're in studio and I was sitting there and all the boys, and you could I thought we were like on clouds. It's just, we are in, boys. We're like locked in, and we kept a lot of mistakes that you probably won't even realize. We just left some of them in there because that was part of that grease, that chemistry. Yep. Some of the groove goes in and out of the thing, but that's part of that chemistry again,
People don't care, man. People don't care, especially the super fans, bro. Like they'll probably already analyze it, going, I reckon they did that on purpose. I reckon they sat there, we're going to slow down on this part and speed up. And
you need that. I think if you layer it so much, it dies. The song starts dying. It gets a little bit generic, It's like, here comes the big breakdown after the bridge. We kind of want it to be more earnest in what we're doing on this third album. Yep. And you'll hear it too. It's like, these boys. Feels like some of the songs are like Steely Dan takes, where you hear like some real big stuff ups, and they just kept it in the record, and we're like, awesome. Leave it in. And it's kind of like, should we? Okay.
Because we had Joel on the podcast back in April, and you guys had just come back from week 1 of the studio.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he said you went down there with a blank canvas. You basically had finished one song and had 3 or 4 others sort of on the boil. And the other thing he said to us was there was one song there that you heard some symphony orchestra stuff and you wanted that to happen. Are you able to tell us if that went down? If you ended up getting the symphony orchestra?
Yeah, we did. We got like a guy Mahuia, who's part of, like, they call him the Black Quartet Soprano, something like that. And he did stuff for like Macy Ricker and a lot of artists. I think he did stuff for Stan Walker. So we got them in. It's kind of like an old school kind of Sam Cooke tune, like that. A Change Gone Come. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that vibe. And we wanted to do the song in the moment, like one take. So you push record. There was no overlay. Everyone had to just play because that's how it was done in the 60s. They just push record, and if you stuffed up, you just didn't get the job. And we wanted that moment. So I think we're having dinner. I'm a real bad producer because I go through ups and down moments. So the boys might be just about to have dinner, and I'll come out of the toilet having a crap, and then this idea comes up, and I'm like, we can't have dinner. And they're like, why not? We've got to go to the studio now. I've got this, and that's how that song happened. I was walking out of the hallway, and they were just about to say, you can't eat, get in the studio. And they're like, okay, we can't eat. And then they went in and we recorded, and we didn't have dinner for like hours later, because it felt, and like in my head, it felt like this has to be done now. The universe is saying this has to be done now. And the boys are really good like that. They're like, let's go, let's work. We're there to work. And I think we finished recording at about 11:30 at night. And then we started doing like a light mix down till about 5 a.m. or something. But Ada will finish sometimes 6 a.m.
Yep.
Then we shut the studio down for 3 hours, and then we carry on 9:30 all the way around to 6 a.m. in the morning. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much how we spend time in the studio. Yeah. Like it just goes around the clock, never stops.
So that's the surgery in Wellington.
Yeah, we live in there. So I sleep in the mixing area.
Right.
Where all the compressions are. It's right there. Ada sleeps in the vocal booth. Yeah. Joel sleeps by his guitar amps. Yep. Stu sleeps where the couch and kitchen is. Yeah. So and then Ada his shift starts about 10 at night, 9 at night, and he'll record us from 9 till whenever. 5 might be 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. We'll do his editing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we'll all be asleep, and then I'll get up, Stu will get up, and Joel, and our sound engineer will come in, and Miharu will come in, our keyboardist Miharu, and then we'll work from 9:30 to about 6, have dinner. Then we start falling apart about 10:30 or mounting away, and his switch comes on. And that's how we work. It's like 100-hour week.
Oh,
yeah.
So, I was gonna ask, because the videos that I've seen you fellas put up, Udders looks like he's engineering it. He's sitting there, but you obviously have some other people in there as well. Some engineers.
So Ada will fill in on the night shifts because our main engineer finishes at 6 p.m.
Okay,
and then usually we have a few beers and dinner, and then all the boys get the second one. Then I start pulling out the video, and he carries on sound engineer. So he's co-sound engineer for the second album and the third one. Yeah, and he really wants to be. He's one of those guys. He's a tutu hard out with gadget stuff, and so he's learning compression. He's really good at it now. I mean, this band's lived in the studio for 3 years straight. It's a long time. You get to understand all the mics and compressions.
For me, like tonally from the 3 albums, and only having heard the one song off the new album, it's going up. It just like I've been listening to Personify a lot in my car over this last week, and just before just before you and I hooked this up tonight, I started listening to it in the headphones, and fuck, man, just blown away, eh? So can we play that? Can we play that now?
Yeah, Turtle.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Cool. That's Mihara, is it?
Miharu, yeah. Yeah, that's Miharu. That's what I wanted with it.
Oh, right. Like a choir thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that fuzz.
Yeah, the big muff. It's called the big muff.
The big muff, right.
Yeah. Phaser.
Yeah, nice.
You know.
I can hold on the line. Tell me and I'll do. And now that the stars align, I know what I gotta do.
I think we were drunk when this Sunday started.
I won't ever go down. Tell it is a feeling. Now you won't believe it. So fine, you're everything. It's in your eyes, the way you sing. I can't see to be the free. I just need the feeling. You know I'm right. It's everything. It's in your eyes, the way you sing.
I like this little riff. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And the next one.
Yeah.
First time I heard it, when I heard it fade out, I was disappointed, eh? Because to me, it felt like I wanted to go more, and I'm like, oh man, I want some more.
Yeah,
man.
A few people said that.
Oh, did they? Right, right. Was that? Did you guys do that on purpose?
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to go back and play it again.
That's
a
it,
technique you use sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you drag it out too long, they're kind of like, all right, now I've had enough of this song.
Yeah.
But then if you keep that anticipation up, it's kind of like a bit of an old pop technique.
Right.
Fade it out so that, okay, can I play it again? Oh, me more views on my Spotify. I get an extra 4 cents.
Oh. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you get a bit more on Apple Music, eh? I think, yeah.
Uh,
So how far into the recording of the album did that song come about?
that came in, I think, because we'd done about 9 weeks, and I think they came in on the 5th week.
Okay.
And it was written in the moment. We had no song. We're sitting in the studio. We're wasting a lot of hours. Well, 2 hours, really. Not really a lot, but I think every minute's just dead money to me. So I'm kind of like, ugh. But
Yeah.
Joel and I sat in the studio, and I said, man, I just want something, a 3-chord structure, something just real thin. We played it. We had no vocals, no melody. We just ding, 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 check, ding. And then I said, I want a little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers, a little bit of Lenny Kravitz feeling about it. And so we used the SG because the SG guitar's got a real forward sound. It's real in your face, real Black Sabbath kind of thing. And we used the Fender Stratocaster, but it was a little bit too open. It was the wrong vibe. So, and I think that was a big part of it, to have that kind of SG. And then with the drums, pretty much all on the last 2 albums, the drum kit we use is a real old Gretsch, but the sound of it gives it, I mean, it's not really like pushy or articulate like what modern drums sound like today, but it's got that a bit of authenticity about it, that real vintagey vibe about it. So I felt like when I was producing it, it was a combination of the drums and the guitar had to have a cohesiveness. And then the cohesiveness of that was like the front. And then I felt like the bass line usually is the foundation, but that had to be the melody in the background. And that's what gave it the separation. So the scary thing is lately we've been writing the whole riffs and everything and recording it. Still no lyrics, no melody. Scary, man, because then you're like, okay, I think I actually got to find a melody for this now. Yeah, so the boys will usually have dinner, and then I'll sit in the studio by myself and then hum the melodies, get the lyrics, and then Joel will have his dinner, have an hour break, and then we slam in the vocals. We record it at night. We let the song simmer. Boys listen to it, and then we get up in the morning and Joel's like, oh, let's change this melody. And it's usually the day after in the morning that we actually find out this is the melody. That's how our process has always been with all the songs lately. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your thought process to your drum sounds. You kind of answered that. So you've kind of specifically gone in wanting that sort of, it's definitely that 70s tom sound, you know, like almost with the Remo muffles. It's kind of that kind of, and to me, I think that music that you guys are doing, to have a drum kit with these do, it would, I think, take away from
the vibe.
Like you said, the vibe and the foundation. It would just get in the way. We get in the way of guitars and get in the way of those bass lines and the synths. Doesn't need to be there, but you just, with those dead sort of drums, the attack's there and the articulation of the drum is there, but it just doesn't have that resonance. And I reckon it's awesome. I reckon it suits your music.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone was using like Steve Slate and Premium Drummer, and what's happening was it almost sounded generically the same. You know, I was like, man, I can hear it. There was no like, that sounds like Steve Gadd had his sound. Meshuggah had their sound. He had that kind of real nice, kind of like, I would call it Living Colours sound. You know, real Cahoon vibe. And I wanted to have, I could have gone there, I couldn't get, but I wanted to go. It was a risk. I mean, it's very old sound. It's a very old school first album of Black Sabbath almost. Almost a bit of old school Kiss, bit of disco almost. But I specifically wanted that because it just would give L.A.B. overall a different we would stand out differently from everyone. Not better, just differently.
Just
It would put
different.
us in our own lane. And I
Yeah.
think that's really
Yeah.
important to survive in the industry.
Yep.
Because a lot of bands in New Zealand they're almost using the same generic fills and the same tones.
Right.
And it's like,
Exactly.
you can't tell one drum kit from the other anymore. It just sounds like they've just slammed it into triggers, put Steven Slade on there, picked the most coolest sounding tones, but it's very generic. And I was I would almost say real stupid, but I just wanted to do something where we're in our own lane.
Yep.
It might not be the most articulate or the biggest, nicest tones, but it's that L.A.B sound now. It's become the sound.
This is my point. This is what makes it stand out to me than the other stuff. It's a specific sound, you know. It's a vibe. It's your vibe, you know. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So how does that sound translate over to live? Because, you know, I mean, you guys play a lot of festivals, and, you know, when you come to Australia, you'll be playing, when you're in the different states, you'll be playing on different drum kits.
Yeah.
Are you going to be asking for a certain type of drum set?
Well,
or you can just
what
kind of make
happens,
that. Yep.
our sound live with Richie, he's a phenomenal front of house dude.
Yep.
But we use a more brighter overall. Everything's brighter, mainly because everyone's in the crowd's in a different frequency together. So they want to hear everything more glittery, more brighter. And that's,
Okay.
So for starters, we always like go up about 3 to 5 BPMs every song because it's that vibe.
Right.
And then, man, to be honest, there's nothing. I think L.A.B's power is that when we play a set, it's like a journey. Like, we play the song, it has a consistent tempo, but I love pulling back the tempo on my verses, and the boys understand it. Before, Joel sometimes would be like, "Oh, you're pulling," but that's what creates dynamic and journey. So on the chorus, I'll sit on the click. We're not playing to click, but on the verse side, like brilliant, and it makes the crowd kind of, the air gets a bit of ear candy. You know, the human ear gets a bit of ear candy, and then so that's why when we perform live, I think that's when our real chemistry comes out. It's when we perform live, and a lot of that's to do with the tempo and the dynamics that we bring. Yeah, it's quite it's an art form, performing live.
Yeah, I can't wait till Sydney, man. Really can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Can't wait to get down, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. You guys, I think, are you getting close to selling Sydney out?
I think it's like only got 50 tickets left. I think. It was
really?
Awesome!
That's
not
great.
too far. I think so, because we've sold out every other venue.
Yeah.
Perth and the Sydney one, but
I
think
the Perth's the Catchify one, eh?
Yeah, that'll be sold out.
Yeah.
Perth's always a big goer, but we're really surprised that we even sold tickets. We were shocked, to be honest.
Really?
And then we had to do a double show in Brizzy, and that basically sold out straight away again, the second show. So the boys are over the moon, and it helps with when you play at festivals and stuff. Promoters start getting wind of it, and that's how your fee kind of goes up, you know, when it comes to the business side. So soon as they hear, selling out, no, now their fee's going up there, you know. And that's when you start playing the money game, you know.
Yeah, and you can kind of move up your spots too on the bill, eh?
That's right, exactly. So we're basically using the same formula and tips from Kora. We had a really great manager, and we're in a great time of the music industry where, well, personally, I picked up a lot of, I wasn't just a drummer. I was always had my ear on the ground, even at meetings and that. I was like, take this in, I'll take that in, and, you know, all that kind of accumulated over the years. It's you got to know how to play the game. It's definitely, you know, it's a hard business, you know that.
But
it's dirty, eh?
I don't quite know at the level you guys do though, but Yeah, different scene here, bro. Completely different.
Yeah, it's a
But
hard
yeah, man,
scene.
it's so cool to see. Yeah, you guys basically have sold out Australia. That was awesome. Because I remember I remember you guys put up a post. Where do you think we should play? Because it was almost like, oh, you know, are we going to have the fans here to play
Yeah,
to play a metro, or do we just play somewhere smaller and
Bondi Beach.
Bondi Beach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the hotel.
Yeah, or Rudy Hill RSL again, or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yes, that was part of what we had to do because our management was like, should we just put the feelers out? We're like, oh, okay. We weren't really confident in it. And then
right.
the next day, I think there's like over 1,000 comments. And we're like,
Yep.
okay, we're touring Australia. I was like, sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah. So have you got a release date for the third album?
Yes. So I think the very first week of December.
Yep.
But at the moment, the boys have just finished. So we filmed Personify about a month ago.
Mhm.
And then just yesterday and on Monday, Joel and Miharu filmed the second video, which is called In the Air. You'll love it. In the Air is like
awesome.
a Steely Dan vibe.
Oh, awesome.
It's really just like a good cruiser song. So they just finished filming that in South Island with the same director, Woodamoo Moore. And then they get 2 weeks off, and then we're filming the third video. Yeah, we're just go. And then
that's awesome.
yeah, and then basically we're going to go into a fourth album next year, but it's going to be with an orchestra, and it might be a little bit electronic. So a little bit of a mixture, but we're going to try and get an orchestra on the whole album, make it something really, yeah. So I said, let's do 5 albums. The boys are like, hell yeah. Like, because we love writing songs. And it's like that. You're chasing for the goal, but you don't want it, you know? And I don't think none of us want to kind of really get to the top. We want to like that hunger, because you start to lose the hunger. A little bit of that happened with Kora. We got so up far up the ladder. It was kind of like, didn't appreciate things. Me personally, I didn't appreciate a lot of things as much. Whereas this time we're a lot older, a lot wiser, and we like chasing the. I love the chase, you know, the whole. Oh man, let's do another album, and we got to meet a deadline for 3 videos. Let's do some videos, you know, that whole that. And we're all hungry, man. Like we always talk about it. Joel's just like, let's go. So
listeners, you can't see Brad's face, but he's got a massive smile on his face, while he's telling us this. It's joy, man. Oh, it's wicked. So good to see. Good to hear.
It's the chase. That's what's, I reckon, that's bigger than than getting to the end. I don't think none of us want to get to the end. We want to constantly
why would you? I know from a recording point of view, for me personally, when a recording session is finished, I get depressed. I just want to go and do it again. You know, it's the best thing.
Exactly, man. And we were like that.
Not quite the level you guys again, but even if it's just a little recording session for me.
It's still the same thing, man. It's still the same.
Sure.
And that's why I was like, when they coming near the end, I said, should we do a 4th album? And he was like, yep. I was like, yes, 4th album. Yeah. And then I think I said 5 albums. So like, hell yeah, bro, let's do 5. Because you want to go to your deathbed, and be like, yeah, I did this, you know. And a piece of you is going to be stuck on that album and forever, for forever and ever. So, you know, when our time's done, you can say, man, there's a bit of me still left there. Well, there's a lot of me. It's going to be 4 albums. So, and I think we all want that. Yeah. So that's cool.
Now, martial arts, bro, when did that start for you?
When we were young. So my uncles in the 80s were all black belts under a Māori martial arts club called Rangatawa Aotearoa. It was quite a brutal art. It was like a mixture of kickboxing, Muay Thai, and karate and kyokushin. So we all got thrown into that. So, and we all we were 80 kids, so we all wanted to be Arnold or Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee,
So,
Chuck Norris.
yeah, and Lordy was always quite theatrical. Oh, he could do all and we're always like hitting stuff, and Lordy in the 90s started competing like full Muay Thai, like hard out. Yeah, so he was hard out competing, and then I was doing some kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, and then I was with my kickboxing gym pretty much right through all of 2000 up to today, and like hard out. And then
So sorry, when did you start?
jiu-jitsu.
When did you start your gym? When did you open your gym?
Oh, that's been going for 13 years now, I think.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so we long time, but as a business, it's been going for 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 years, 9 years as a business. Yeah, so yeah, that like it's a serious business, but I've been coaching like years before that. So Brazilian jiu-jitsu mainly and kickboxing. So yeah, highly addicted. So yeah, my guys are all fighting next weekend, and my son as well. So we've been training every day. Yeah.
Saw a video of your son kicking
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah, man. Oh, he's a little goer, man.
He smashed that kid, eh?
Yeah. Oh, he's a little pity, yeah. He just goes for
awesome.
But yeah, they've got the big nationals next weekend, so they've been training like once, twice a day, real hard. So between doing L.A.B and the FAMs and running a gym, my partner works out Fawn Terrace, so she's got some big hours out there. So yeah, we're full on, man. It's nice, full on, but it's cool.
Nice.
Oh, and Fortnite, play a lot of Fortnite.
Yeah. So apparently you've got some extra check-on luggage, have you?
I used to take a whole PC, so like, and a TV monitor, keyboard, mouse, like a big box. And I used to tour that, and then set it up in the hotel, and I have my own streaming thing going on in hotels. But I ended up buying a real high quality laptop, so I can leave the PC at home. But I used to carry the whole PC. It's huge. The PC, it's 30 kgs. Check it out.
And that
it's huge. Like it's monstrous. Yeah.
And that was your chicken baggage.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
Okay.
So
yeah, plug it into the Koru lounge, eh?
hard out.
Yeah.
It's to plug it up there. Ketchy used to look at me like I was nuts.
Yeah.
Big, a huge bloody mouse pad, like a big one, like a meter long, and I'll be like, yeah,
that's awesome. Now, so yeah, you got the Australian tour coming up next month. What are you guys doing sort of over November? Because when does your festival season start? Or when do you guys start doing your
December
run
pretty
into
much.
Summer? December, yep.
Yeah, but I think we got little shows here and there with Kora and L.A.B between kind of November, December, and then pretty much from December it's almost like every day. So all the way up to March, April, maybe May.
Oh,
so it's January, February, March. So yeah, we were Fat Freddy's tour. It's a real big band which I can't name right now.
Yep.
One time, the biggest New Zealand band, but I can't put their name out. But just all the major festivals and stuff. So yeah, Homegrown, WOMAD, we just got that locked in. Yeah, and then I'm trying to get us onto the international WOMAD scene. Yeah. So we do Adelaide, I think it's Melbourne, England, Malaysia, Singapore. So yeah, that's an awesome circuit to go on. Real big, real fancy. So yeah.
I was gonna ask about international outside of Australia. So apart from that sort of that WOMAD circuit, is there other places you're looking at possibly going to Europe again, but with L.A.B? Yep.
I think to be successful you have to jump on the back of a band that's already successful.
Okay.
So to build a fan base, the secret is to not like have success in your country and then go to another country and just hope that people turn up. That's a real bad way of doing it, I reckon. The best way is to get like a big band. Let's say Fat Freddy's drop. They always sell out over in Europe. and try and be the support band for them. And then their fan base watch you, that little fan base. So you might get the odd fans here and there. They spread the word, and then you come back to New Zealand, and then you follow them again, or you get another band and you support them. And that's how you build your fan base. That to me is the less headache way. We did do a Europe tour and an England tour where we just like, man, we're doing really well in New Zealand. We went in Australia, we went to England, and we were in the major places in there, we're selling out, but the little places, people like, don't even know you. But, you know, that's what you do. But I learned from those years ago going, all right, it's best to be a support band for a major band, and you feed off their fans, and you kind of that's how you build your fan base. Mm-hmm. Trying to go out there and trying to expect people to turn up to a show in a country you've never been to is probably the worst idea. You'll come back broke. Ego gets a little bit smashed from having no one at some of the shows. But yeah, that's the smart way. And that's what I think we'll go for more, to be on the back tail of someone really successful. Yeah, unless you do a song that's really big and then you don't need that. But in the meanwhile, that would be the best way.
The logo, the Personify logo, it's the L.A.B logo. Can you explain that new?
Oh, I can't because our record company did it. But
right.
So I think it says L.A.B. There's actually says L.A.B.
It says L.A.B. and there's it's like
it looks like eyes or something.
Yeah, there's some eyes and nose, mouth, and like the ocean and the mouth and waves and
Some boys were for it, some were against it.
Okay.
I was kind of neutral. I kind of liked it, you know, didn't mind too much. But I was really thinking of going for more of that old school, solid gold, ready to roll vibe.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to look for in our logo. So,
right.
And Stu was real like vocal about it. He said, "Man, because I had this old design and it looks so like RTR Countdown or something." Just had that. I was like, that's L.A.B. because we're really old school vibe, you know, almost like a Goodnight Kiwi vibe.
Yep.
Yeah. So, it probably changed quite soon. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, Rugby World Cup starts this week.
Yeah.
You guys presented some vinyl to the All Blacks.
Yeah.
How did that come about? That's pretty cool. Something they'll be jamming in the dressing rooms, That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite cool. I think when they were lining up and they're meeting the mayor of Tauranga and stuff, and Joel was last. And when they got to Joel, they kind of got a bit fanboy with Joel. They're like, "Oh, really? It's Joel from L.A.B. Can I get a photo?" And they were buzzing out. So Joel the principal of that high school said, "Can you present these records, L.A.B. records to them?" And I think they already hit them, the All Blacks boys. So
Yeah.
So, I think we had the Black Caps. They're big L.A.B. fans from Controller, and that they used the song, which was quite cool. And it's getting around, you know, like the vibe. It's getting cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, just back a little bit on your drumming technique. Now, I notice when you play, like you play with the. It's almost like it seems like you got a really short stick, but you play all the way at the back of the stick, almost with your little finger sticking out. Yeah. Have you always played like that? Yeah. Have you always played like that?
Yeah, always have. So I got it off my dad, so you can get that rim shot skin.
Yeah, you can get a
thing
bit of
going
out
on.
of it. Yeah.
You can get that bang, bang. I've got the snare drum. It's a Chad Smith one, but I've had it kind of, I wouldn't say customized, but I've had some little tweaks to it, and the sound engineer said it's probably the loudest snare in New Zealand because I like my snares like really loud. That's one of my things, and it's no good in studio. It just destroys the compression. It's just, but for live, it's so loud you don't even need any monitors on it. It's just loud, and I've always I'm a big fan of copper snares, so. When I hit with the stick, like right at the tail button of it, it just adds a lot more bites, especially when it's and hit the hi-hat and it cuts through. It gets this real back pocket feel.
Yep.
Yeah, because I do table type my snare skins almost to the point where they'll rip. I'm like,
right.
yeah, and then I have to loosen them off when we get on the plane, or they'll rip apart from
Yeah,
the
that's it.
pressure.
right.
So,
Mm.
but yeah, I table type them up, and it kind of, because I was a big fan of Will Calhoun
Mhm.
and Deftones. I used to love that.
Oh, that Deftones snare. Blah.
Yeah. So for live, that's what my snare kind of sounds more like that, because
Right.
it needs that more energy in the songs.
I gotcha.
So I have it quite,
Mm.
yeah, good. And I've
you know
always
what-
had that.
Yeah. Do you know who I reckon's got one of the loudest snares in New Zealand?
Is it?
Darren
Oh,
Mathiesen.
yeah,
The side snare he's got.
Yeah,
It's like it's like, I don't know how many plies thick it is.
yeah.
They came out to Sydney last year. And we went out and saw the show, and he
Oh,
showed me
yeah.
the snare at the end, and oh fuck, man, because I was
Yeah.
standing side stage listening to them, and this thing, man, he was saying sometimes they don't even put a mic on it.
Nah.
It's like, oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, you won't even need a mic on that one. That's bloody loud. Who has there? There's another drummer, Shannon Isaiah. He lives in Sydney now.
Mhm.
Man, he was a good drummer. I think he played for, I forgot the band. They were like a new metal band back in the 2000s, kind of the Korn era. Oh, that guy's snare drum, man. He was one of my favorite snare hitters. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
just this big guy with long hair. Just it was like, ooh, you know. Yeah. But down on the pocket. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah, bro, that's awesome. I think we just about covered it, bro.
Awesome.
That was wicked, man.
Nah, thank you.
Nah, bro. Can't wait to catch you in a few weeks in Sydney, and hopefully we can catch up after, man. And
Definitely, I was thinking maybe we go even before, if you want to come hang out with us and we have some beers or just a good chat, talk drums.
oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Man, that'll be real. I mean, you don't need tickets, obviously. You just come along. I got you sorted, or whoever you want to bring along, we'll just get you in. No worries.
bro, we've already bought our tickets, man. We pay our way. Yeah,
come backstage.
it's cool.
Yeah, come hang.
Man, you realised you let out some real trade secrets, eh? There's going to be all these little mini little mini L.A.B clone bands, following your model now. Credit to you to be able to even be open with that stuff. There's a lot of people that keep those kind of things to themselves, and I mean, good for them. That's fine, but man, you're veteran now, and when I say veteran, you're not old, but I mean, you guys are, you've been in the game a long time, and it's awesome that you can share that stuff.
Thank you very much, man.
And like I said, looking forward to catching up in Sydney, brother.
Yeah, can't wait, brother, and appreciate your time and doing this interview, man. So I'm looking forward.
Not too easy, man.
3 weeks, boy, that's us.
I know, bro. Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah,
man.
All right, Brad. I'll be in touch, bro. I'll talk to you. Yeah, talk to you in the next few days.
Okay, my bro. Take care, okay, brother.
Bro.
Okay.
All right. Cheers, Brad.
Catch up,
Later,
brother.
brother.